Okay, let's try that again. So when I originally turned this on, I had it on landscape mode. Is that right? Yeah, landscape. Because I was going to try to do it the other way in landscape so that it posted better to YouTube. But then I can't, the comments were still coming in portrait mode. So I had to start over. Okay, so welcome. So I had quite a few questions. Well, I have had lots of requests for a side part curl. So if you followed me for a while, you know that I do both. I'll post on, or I'll part down the middle and on the side. So this is yesterday's hair. So I washed it yesterday and then slept on it. And I will tell you a couple tricks for like sleeping on your hair to keep good volume. If you have longer hair, pull your hair up like on top of your head, like in a pineapple, like so it looks like a pineapple, and put it in a really loose scrunchie. So loose scrunchie, I have like silk ones that I got from Target. You can use those, or the Invisibobble works good, but you just want it really loose on top of the head, and that'll help preserve volume. But I lately have been just sleeping with it down, and that seems to work good too. But I'll show you what I do. So and a lot of people have asked this question too with like my tricks on how I comb out my back combing at night, or because if you've watched some of my other tutorials, you know that I do lots of back combing and I put lots of product in there. So you have to kind of comb it out a little bit. So I'll tell you, I never use a regular brush. So at night when I'm getting ready for bed, I take this Tangle Teezer brush right here. It's got these little super soft, they're really super soft, like I don't even know what you call them, the bristles. There's some long ones and some short ones, but it is the best brush ever. You can get them on Amazon. It's called Tangle Teezer. So before I go to bed, I just kind of lightly go through and brush all of my hair, just like kind of work through it. I don't completely brush all the back combing out, but this will just kind of lightly, softly kind of work through some of the product, break that up, kind of break it up a little bit. But it's not going to pull your hair and cause breakage like a lot of other really stiff like brushes, like paddle brushes, any type of brush like that will pull a little bit harder and can cause breakage in the hair. So this is what I use. So, and then I part my hair. When I do a side part, I part it on this side, okay? So when I go to bed at night, so like last night, I brushed my hair, brushed it all out, and then I went like this and combed it over this side, and I slept with it on this side. Now the reason for that is because it preserves volume, because your hair when you sleep, and the more weight that's on it and the more it's left this way, it's gonna get flat over here, which is totally fine. So I sleep with it parted on the opposite side of how I normally wear it, okay? And then when I wake up in the morning, like to go do my hair, brush through it, and then you flip it back over. So, and you can see by flipping it back over, see how much lift I have right at the root there? And that is because I slept with it on the other side. So that is a little trick in preserving some volume. Yes, it is a great trick. Okay, now, so we'll get started on curling and doing a side part. So this is the side that I part on when I do a side part, and I'm gonna take it in sections like I always do. So I'm desperate to get my hands on mascara makeup, shipping to Canada soon, sometime this year. We don't have exact details yet on that, but it will be, I think, within the next couple months. So hold on to that. Do you sleep on a satin pillowcase? I've heard that helps to keep volume and less frizz. I don't sleep on a satin pillowcase, but you are absolutely right. That does help. And less breakage too. Satin pillowcases can be really good for that. So How do you prevent the split in the back when you sleep on your hair and try to do it in the morning? So if you have a cowlick, that's probably what you're talking about, is if you have a cowlick where your hair splits and naturally grows in different directions. Unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do. The best thing is parting your hair on the opposite side. So I actually have one of those cowlicks too, and mine's right here. So that is exactly why I part on this side, and it is so all of this hair will come over and hide that hole in the back of my hair. So there's your trick. Part it on the opposite side so that your hair holds it. If you have one right smack dab in the middle, unfortunately, there's not a lot you could do. The best thing that you probably could do is if it gets really bad, you can re-wet it just a little bit right at those roots and then re-blow dry it so that so it's not split in the middle. So, okay, we're gonna start. I have my 1-inch curling iron right here. Most of the time, I always use a 1-inch curling iron. I'm gonna start right at the root, right at the top, and wrap it around. So like I said, this part right here is pretty typical to how I, like the same way that I curl my hair in almost all of my videos. And these, you can see, I mean, a lot of these are already curled, so I'm just feeding that hair through half of the way and then leaving those ends out. So grabbing the hair, starting at the root, right up at the root, wrap it around, hold it there so that it really sets that curl right at the root, pump it, and then wrap it around just one more time, and then leave those ends out. And then if you get some kind of skiwampus ends like that, that's no big deal. We'll go back through with a flat iron. Is curling with a straightener damaging to your hair? Anytime you're using heat on your hair, it's not like ideal for your hair, but we all do it anyways, right? So the key to avoiding as minimal damage as possible is making sure you're using a heat protectant as well as a curling iron or a flat iron that has a temperature control. So turn your controller down. So like this Hot Tools one that I use, it goes to 450 and I have it turned down to 400. So, and you can see I don't ever really leave it on the hair for very long. So pull that hair out, curl right at the root, hold it, pump it open, roll it around, hold it, pump it open, roll it around, and hold it, leaving those ends out, and then I'll kind of pull it straight if it's a little bit too curly. What color of mascara blush are you wearing? I have on Sandstone and Frenchie today, so I have on both. You guys are awesome. I would love to come to Germany to do your hair. You just gotta buy me a plane ticket and fly me there. That's all. Okay. What temperature is it set at? It's set at 400. If you have finer hair, you set it lower. If you have finer hair, set your temperature lower. If you have thicker hair, then you can use a little bit higher temperature. Let's see. Mascara coming to the UK anytime soon. That I don't know. I hope, and I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for you, but I don't know. Okay, so now I've pulled down my next section. And so I've pulled down my next section. I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna try to answer some questions too, but I have the hardest time focusing on answering questions and what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna hold the hair straight up. So this is my next section that I just pulled down. I'm gonna hold the hair straight up to backcomb it. So not down here and not like this, because that's just backcombing it flat. Straight up, get that lift right at the roots. I take my fine tooth comb and I go in there and I just push it down really tight in that 1-inch section right there. And then I'm gonna spray it with the Aveda Air Control hairspray. So spray it and sets it. This hairspray, I feel like really pretty much your backcombing will last 10 times longer if you spray it and set it with that hairspray, I swear. And there's no product like it, because I've tried a bazillion other hairsprays and they're all too strong hold. Like they all make the hair crunchy up at the root. And this one does not. It holds it, it's really light, but it doesn't make the hair crunchy. So that is a good thing. So I'm just basically working my head, or working my head. I'm working all around my head and back combing, okay? So right at the root and spraying. So like I said, I mean, this is a very similar, you know, I do the same curling pattern essentially all the time. Just how I part it makes a big difference. So spray, and I always back comb before I curl. So now I'm going through, hey Linz, does it work on thin hair? Yes, I have thin hair and it works great. So now, and if you have a cowlick, so like we talked about, so back here is where I have that cowlick in my head. So I make sure and take all that section where that cowlick is and back comb it really good right there and then spray it. And then when we apply the heat to it, it'll kind of harden up right there. So now I'm gonna take those sections, getting my curling iron right up there at the root, wrapping it around, holding it, wrap it around, hold it, leaving those ends out. So, and then we'll go through and flat iron those ends if we need to, if some of them are a little too curly or crazy. Okay. Let's see. What spray is it? The Aveda Air Control Hairspray. Now, I'm going to post this. I will save it, so it'll be up here on Instagram stories for 24 hours, but then I will also post it to my YouTube. So if you haven't been to my YouTube, you can get to my YouTube through the link in my bio. You can also buy all of these hair products, Aveda products, through the link in my bio as well. I linked the Aveda website, so you can purchase them right through there. You guys are the best. No, thank you guys. You guys seriously, like, blow me away daily. Watching while changing a diaper. I'm wishing I had time to do my hair. Hey girl, I have been there many, many times too before. And it is nice to not have any diaper wearing babies anymore. Because it does give me a little more time to get ready. Would I be classified as high maintenance if I traveled to US for my hair appointment? No, no way. Just tell people you're coming for a vacation and you just so happen to get your hair done too. I have fine but thick hair. Should I use the same technique and product? Absolutely. All of these products that I'm using are all volumizing products. So these are all, it doesn't matter what kind of hair type you have, what they're gonna do is they're gonna bulk the hair and create volume. So no matter what kind of hair type you have, because even if you have really coarse, thick hair, even if you want volume up at the root, you need something that's gonna bulk the hair so that it holds and creates volume. Let's see. Okay, so next section. So now, okay, I'm basically in this top region of my hair, right? So just this very top part, so is what I've gotten to. So everything about where your hair starts to recess, you're like me, your receding hairline, basically everything above that. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna work backwards. So I'm gonna take my next section and hold that up, straight up, back comb, back comb, back comb. Now you can see, I'm not doing one of these numbers where I'm back combing all of it. I'm going in right at the root and pushing it in super duper tight. So you really only have like an ½ inch of back combing, okay? I'm gonna take another section. These are probably about ½ inch wide sections. And I'm gonna do the same thing, holding the hair straight up and back combing right at that root and spraying. Okay, so now I'm gonna curl that first section. Split that in half, start up here at the root. It'll be natural to wanna like do this and start down here, but then you're getting flat roots through here and only the ends of your hair curled. So right up at your root, wrap it around and hold it, wrap it around and hold it, wrap it around and hold it, okay? Next section. Now I am curling all of my curls backwards, so away from my face. You can absolutely throw some curls in there going the opposite direction to create a little bit of a different texture, and that works really well too. I just don't usually do it because I feel like my OCD kicks in and it bugs me because then I have one curl that's like not following the same curl pattern. So, but I do love it when I see it on other people. It's just one of those things that I can't, every time I do it on myself, I'm like, oh, it just doesn't look right. Okay, so when I get to the top, so again, right here, not down here, not pulling the hair this way, straight up from the head. Wrap it around and hold it. Another thing, so a question that I get asked quite frequently is if your hair is clumping together, like your curls are all clumping together, and you can't seem to get this definition and texture in your hair, you may need some more texture or some more layering in your hair, okay? Everybody's hair texture is different, and so the haircut that you're gonna need is gonna vary from person to person as well. So you need, if you feel like you're having a hard time getting, and when I say texture, the thing about my hair is like, I'm a blonde, and so my hair kind of naturally creates its own texture from chemical breakage. My hair gives itself chemical breakage, haircuts all the time. So, but that's the thing, is if you have really healthy, good hair, you're probably gonna need a stylist to go through and do some really deep point cutting into it. You can slide cut. If your hair likes the razor and you're a fan of the razor, you can use a razor, but you basically just need to create random, like this one, you can see, I mean, that piece is shorter. This piece is shorter, but they're not necessarily like layers in the hair. They're just kind of chunkier textured pieces, and that's what creates a textured, really piecey look. So if you're having a hard time, you know, and it's all clumping into one, you may need to add more texture to your hair, okay? Or more layers. Okay, so I've done that back section. We got those done. Now we're working towards the front, okay? Now I'm gonna do that, so I'm gonna take this front section right here on an angle. Now let's go back and let's remember that I part on this side, right? Okay, but notice how I keep all my hair over here. That is to preserve volume. So I'm gonna take these little hairs right here and I'm going to flat iron them this way, just the roots, okay? So we're gonna take my flat iron and right at the root, just for a brief second there, I just apply that heat and then I let it cool, okay? And then I'm gonna take another section, same way. Now again, don't get confused because I don't part on this side, I part on this side, but I'm doing this for volume. And then right at the root and let it cool. Let's see, how often do I wear my hair straight? I have no idea. I don't even know. Not as often as I wear it curly, and not for any other reason than I just feel more like myself with curly hair. So, okay, so now I've parted all that over here, and as it's cooling, I'm just letting it cool over here until I feel like it's nice and cool to the touch, okay? So then we're gonna go back this direction. And you see that? Let me show you here. So when I flip all of that back over this way, do you see the lift that you get here? Okay, that is the whole purpose as to why we flat iron it over that way. So now, okay, here's another thing. So when I wear my hair curly and parted on the side, I'm a weirdo about I don't love this front part of my hair curled. I like it to have lift like this, but I feel like if I put a curl in it right here, it almost looks like too like Shirley Temple-ish. So I like to leave this section of like my front bang area straighter. So basically just kind of the curl that is molded in there from like when I flat iron it over a little bit this way. And then I'm going to take this section right behind and we're going to back comb this one, holding it straight up. Back comb, back comb, back comb. So here's a good way you can see. So you can see right at that root, I'm just pushing it down really tight right there, okay? And spray. Let that cool for a sec. Let that hairspray dry. Let's see. Megan Coates, I have the same question. What was that question? I missed it. What was that? Let's see. On the hair that won't grow back after major chemical breakage. You know, there's a lot of, I'll talk about that here in just a second when I get done with this, because I have a hard time concentrating. I'll finish this and then I will talk to you a little bit about breakage, because I do get a lot of questions about that. Do I use a shampoo and conditioner to keep your root dry? It's supposed to help with volume. No, I just use the Aveda Damage Remedy shampoo and conditioner, and that's because my hair is blonde and it needs the protein. So I just use that. And Aveda shampoos and conditioners are really good at like not coating your hair and leaving it with like big, you know, with like waxy buildup on the hair. Okay, so now we're gonna curl. I'm gonna curl this piece over here because we haven't got to that yet. So right in the front. Now this one on this side, I don't mind if this hair's curlier. It's like just this bang section that makes me feel like Shirley Temple or something if I, and maybe it's because, you know what it's probably because, is my face is really round. So when I create a bunch of curl right here, it just makes my face look even more round. That's what it is. So if you have a nice long skinny face, you curl all you want. Shoot. Okay, let's try again. Sorry, I had to end that one because we had Creeper Central popping on. I think I've tried before to set my page to private too before I do it, so that before you go live you don't get those, but I can't because it's a business page. So unless some of you know how to do that, let me know. But sorry, we had to end that one because once one pops up, it's like this snowball effect of like Creeper City, and they all just keep coming on. So we had to end that one and start new. Okay. Yes, it's a 1-inch curling iron. Hey, Julene. Okay, so back to that front part of how you get that volume. So now, like I was saying, right here, I'm gonna leave this, and this can be kind of to your liking, but I'm just gonna leave that front part straight, and I'm gonna curl this piece right here, okay? So now this is the important part. So I think when I do a side part and everybody says, oh, how do you do that? How do you get that volume right there in the front? How do you get those curls? You can turn commenting off. I'm sorry that. But then will I not see your comments if I turn it off? I know, those dang creepers, goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this hair up here. Again, not down here, not right here. We're gonna go all the way up to that root. And I'm gonna curl right up there, and it's kind of down, but away from the face. Down and away from the face. And right there. Okay, then the next section, and these, I mean, there's not very many sections here. It's just really these top pieces right here. So holding that hair right to the root, back, and kind of down. You can usually turn it back on and they're usually gone. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Life with Ashley, thank you for sharing that. Okay, back up to the root, down, See how it's like on an angle? That angle makes a big difference on getting that lift right here. If your curling iron is turned too much this way, your bend is gonna come back this way instead of around this way. So make sure your curling iron is kind of tilted right on an angle when you're clamping and curling, okay? And then, okay. So once I got those curls in, then if you have any pieces that you want to, like your ends, if you need those a little bit straighter, then we go through and kind of straighten wherever you feel necessary. Whatever floats your boat at this point in time, right? Okay. Then you just take your fingers and you work through them. Like I just basically stick them in there and kind of work through all of that backcombing. So not that I'm breaking it up, but I'm just making it so that I don't have like holes that you can see through right where like all those sections. So I just work my fingers through it. Just like so. Yeah? Yes. Okay. Then products. Then, and I used to do this too. A lot of people will say, oh, does this, does this only work with short hair? Nope. I used to do this exact same thing when my hair was longer, okay? So now product that I'm gonna put in there. So this is the Aveda Pure Abundance Potion. What this does is this expands the hair by 30%. So it creates volume and grip and texture. So it is a powder, and when you sprinkle it in, the heat of your scalp melts it to a liquid. It's kind of like you're just seasoning your hair. You're just like seasoning it up with some salt and pepper in there. And you just sprinkle it everywhere and then kind of work it in. But this creates like that texture and grip in the hair so that when you do that, it stays, okay? So once you've got that in there and you've got a good grip to the hair, then I'll finish it off with my hairspray. So I use 2 different hairsprays. I know, high maintenance, but I'm a hairdresser, so I have to. Okay, this is the Aveda Fermata. This is a stronghold hairspray, and I really like this one because it pieces and separates. So this is gonna hold, but then it's also gonna create kind of that texture in the hair, okay? So I like this one as my finishing product, but as far as this hair goes, this drives me crazy if it's in my eyeballs. Like, can't handle it. So we have to spray that up and out of the face, but you have to use like a strong hold. So I like the Control Force, the Aveda Control Force, and I just literally, like, I kind of get the hair right where I want it, and then I take this hairspray and I spray it up under, so the hairspray is like shooting up this way, okay? So spray up under, and then that holds that. So it keeps it out of your face. And that, like I said, this is kind of like the one and only hairspray that will help hold that. If you use a wet one, it'll kind of clump together and piece and separate and fall. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I guess we will, hop off. But anyways, I'm going to hop off. I'll get back on and answer a couple questions. So thank you for watching.